Sai Ram and good morning. Sadhguru is now entering the Sai Krishnan Cricket Stadium. His entry has filled the air with sense of peace and reverence, as if very atmosphere is getting attuned to his presence. Sadhguru is now graciously received by Director of Sai Krishnan Cricket Stadium, Shri K.P. Gopinath, and Physical Director, Shri Krishna Pavi, marking the beginning of this auspicious day. Now, we request the dignitaries to hoist the national flag. This will be followed by the national anthem. Om Shri Sai Ram, offering our collective salutations at the feet of Sadhguru Shri Madhusudan Sai. Esteemed guests, devotees, staff and students, Sai Ram and welcome to the celebrations of 78th year of Indian independence. We take this opportunity to welcome our dignitaries on the days. Our chief guest, Dr. Raj Mohan Rao, the founding member of United Telecoms Limited Groups, and is a pioneer in the field of telecommunications in India. Shri B. N. Narsimurthy, Chancellor, Shri Sathya Sai University for Human Excellence. Sadhguru Shri Madhusudan Sai, the guiding force behind all the spiritual and service activities in more than 60 countries across the world. With Sadhguru's permission, we will now commence the march past. On this momentous occasion of 78th Independence Day of India, as we are seated in the Sai Krishnan Cricket Stadium, let us all take a moment to acknowledge this great fortune that has come our way of being born in the sacred land of Bharat. It is this soil which over millennia has given birth to countless sons and daughters who have led the nation and its people by their example. We are blessed with the divine presence of Sadhguru Sri Madhusudan Sai, who is one such son of this land, who is rewriting the destiny of Bharat. The beat of the drums, the call of the command, and the crisp sound of marching feet marks the commencement of the march past. Their hands and feet moving in unison shows precision and coordination. March past is not just a parade, it's a silent expression. Every stride speaks of commitment. Every swing of the arm echoes with unity. These students, with their heads held high and eyes focused ahead, are not just marching, they are weaving a tapestry of discipline and determination. March past is more than a tradition. It's a ritual of precision. The path becomes a stage where rhythm meets resolve. It is where every individuality melts into collective strength, where each participant becomes a vital thread in the fabric of unity. As they march across, there's a profound synchronization that accompanies every step. No words are needed, no command given, just the innate understanding that together we are stronger, more resolute, and more connected. What we are witnessing is not just a display of coordination, but a living example of unity in its most authentic form. It's a reminder that true strength lies not in individual, but in the unison of many moving with a shared purpose. Let this moment inspire all of us to march forward, taking the mission with same confidence, determination, and unity. Leading the parade are the girls students from Sri Sathya University for Human Excellence, Muddenahalli campus, led by the Captain Vidya Mari and Vice Captain Preeti Mahala. The motto of our university is Yogaha Karmasu Kaushalam, which translates as perfection action is yoga, setting the benchmark for all these young students in their endeavors as nothing less than perfection. They march ahead as they offer their salutations to their master. Many have taken birth in this sacred land and dedicated their lives to build a great nation. From the brave soldiers guarding our borders to the diligent farmer nurturing fields, countless heroes have contributed to our country's growth and continue to do so every day. To them, we offer our deep obeisance. Building a strong nation starts with building strong individuals, those who are guided by ethics, driven by purpose, and united by common vision. Now approaching the days are the girls students from Sri Sathya Sai Prashanti Niketanam, Muddenahalli campus. This squad comprises students from grade 11th and 12th. They are led by Captain Inchira and Vice Captain Swati as they salute their Divine Master. Now crossing the days are the girls students from Sri Sathya Sai Krishnan Kolar campus, led by Captain Anushri JR and Vice Captain Shreya DN, offering their collective gratitude to their beloved master. Saluting their master are the girls students from Prashanti Balamandira High School, led by their Captain Sai Bhaskar Gaikwad and Vice Captain Soni Thamang. They are marching with absolute synchronization and teamwork, They demonstrate that marching in contingent demands alertness and unspoken coordination. Now approaching the days are the boys students from Sri Sathya Sai Lok Seva Gurukulam, higher primary and senior secondary section. They are ably led by Captain Sai Samat Malwade and Vice Captain Uyala Bharat. Living together, students imbibe the virtue of unity, wherein each lives for others and all live for God. Besides academic excellence, every student is encouraged to pursue their talents, thereby enabling all-round development and blossoming of their true potential. Marching is all about togetherness. Thinking together, feeling together, and marching together. Togetherness is the very purpose of March Past. Approaching the days are the boys students from Sri Sathya Sai Lok Seva Gurukulam Senior Secondary Section, led by Captain Lekan Gowda and Vice Captain Basaya Hiremat. They march with deep understanding. They are not just children of God, but are verily the torch bearers of God's mission to spread the ancient wisdom of our land throughout the world. The strength of a nation is not measured by its borders, but by the character and the value of its people. Every nation or institution experience a moment of challenge or triumph on their journey. Sadhguru Sri Madhusudan Sai offers a profound framework of Dashanga, comprising the 5 C's and 5 D's. The 5 C's: concern, cleanliness, communication, collaboration, and continuous improvement, serves as the foundational pillars of our institutional excellence. They ensure that our organization remains aligned with the vision while fostering an environment of growth and integrity. Complementing these are the 5 D's: duty, devotion, discipline, discrimination, and detachment, which are essential for individual excellence. These values not only guide personal conduct, but also help in navigating life's challenge with integrity. The Sai Symphony Brass Band is now approaching for the Salute March, led by Harish G. Shirur. The brass band is a part of Sai Symphony Orchestra, which is India's first indigenous and largest student orchestra with complete home-groomed artists. It comprises students from school all the way up to university. It was Swami Vivekananda who said, "She is awakening, this motherland of ours, from her deep, long sleep. None can desist her anymore. Never is she going to sleep anymore. No outward power can hold her back, for the infinite giant is rising to her feet. Brothers and sisters, the infinite giant is rising to her feet." These words, spoken over a century ago, resonates more profoundly today than ever before. Swami Vivekananda envisioned an India that would rise from the depth of struggles and slumber, an India that would reclaim her rightful place on the global stage. That vision is unfolding before our very eyes. New India is indeed rising to her feet. With every achievement, we are witnessing the awakening of our motherland, a nation that is unstoppable, unshakable, and determined to forge its path in the world. The new India is a powerful force driven by the collective will of 1.4 billion people. It is our responsibility to carry forward the legacy of our forefathers, to continue the work of building a nation that stands tall and proud. Today, we will have two of our students share their thoughts with us. Our first speaker is Sister Ava Tamang. She hails from West Bengal, joined Sadhguru's institution for her grade 7th, and currently is pursuing her grade 9th at Prashanti Balamandira High School. Sister Ava Tamang.
Om Shri Sai Ram. I offer my most humble pranams at Swami's lotus feet, respected dignitaries, elders, and my dear brothers and sisters. A very good morning to everyone. Today, as we come together to celebrate the 78th Independence Day of our beloved nation, let us first take a moment to reflect on the beauty and richness of our country, India. India is a land of unparalleled beauty and diversity. From the snow-capped peaks of the Himalayas in the north to the serene beaches of Kanyakumari in the south, from the arid deserts of Rajasthan in the west to the lush green forest of the northeast. Every corner of our country is a testament to the incredible artistry of nature. Our rivers like the Ganga, Kaveri, and Brahmaputra not only quench the thirst of millions, but also carry with them the spiritual and cultural legacy of thousands of years. But India's beauty is not just in its landscape. It lies in the diversity of its people, languages, and cultures. Here, in the heart of this land, beats the spirit of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. The world is one family, a concept that has held this vast nation together for millennia. Patriotism and spirituality have always gone hand in hand in India. The essence of patriotism in India is deeply rooted in spirituality. And this unique combination has given birth to some of the greatest movements and ideas that the world has ever seen. Our freedom struggle, led by the likes of Mahatma Gandhi, was not just a political movement, it was a spiritual quest for truth, justice, and equality. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayaha, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschit dukkham apnuyat. May all beings be happy, may all be healthy, may all experience prosperity, and may no one suffer. This is considered as true freedom in India, and this is all that one needs to ensure that everyone is free from suffering. These words from the ancient text encapsulate the spiritual ethos of our nation. They remind us that true patriotism is not just about loving one's country, but about ensuring the welfare of all its people. It's about selflessly serving the nation just as our freedom fighters did. Today, as we celebrate our independence, we pay homage to the countless men and women who sacrificed everything for our freedom. In the same spirit, Swami has gifted us the realization of our true freedom. 2 years ago, our beloved Swami promised to provide everything at no charge. Swami, today on behalf of every child here, I express our deepest gratitude to you and to every devotee who works tirelessly day and night for us. Dear brothers and sisters, let us be a true Indian by carrying this mighty torch of selfless love and service, which should always be held high and protected from all the rains and storms for generations to come. As I stand before you today, I take this moment to congratulate each and every one of us for being blessed with three rare and precious boons: the gift of human birth, the deep yearning for liberation, and the fortune of being in the company of a guru. These gifts are not easily attained, and they are the foundation of a sacred life. But beyond these, we have been granted with something even more extraordinary: the privilege of being born in India or having got the opportunity to visit India, the sacred land where spirituality and divinity converge. India is the cradle of spiritual wisdom, the land where sages and saints have walked. India's heart beats for those who seek God, wish to know Him, and aspire to become one with Him. We should be immensely proud to be a part of this rich heritage, to carry forward the legacy of countless generations who have sought and found the divine here. Let us remind ourselves that to be an Indian is to be blessed with an unparalleled spiritual heritage. Let us cherish these blessings, stand tall with pride, and use this divine opportunity to fulfill the purpose of our lives, guided by the light of our Sadguru and the timeless wisdom of this great nation. Thank you. Jai Hind, Jai Sai Ram.
Our second speaker is Brother Sai Mukunda. He hails from Chennai and joined Sadhguru's institution for his grade 6. He is currently pursuing his grade 11th at Sri Sathya Sai Lok Seva Gurukulam. Brother Sai Mukunda.
Om Shri Sai Ram. I offer my humble pranams at Swami's lotus feet. Respected elders, teachers, and all my dear brothers and sisters, wishing all of you a happy and a purposeful Independence Day. In the Ramayana, after Rama wins the battle against Ravana in Lanka, Lakshmana asks Rama if they could stay back in Lanka and rule the kingdom over there. To this, Rama replies, Ape Swarnamayi Lanka, Name Lakshmana Rochate, Janani Janma Bhumischa, Swargadapi Gariyasi. O Lakshmana, even though Lanka might be a city of gold, it does not appeal to me, because one's mother and motherland are greater than the heaven itself. It is this love and dedication to the nation that made thousands of individuals sacrifice their lives for the sake of our independence and to bring glory to our motherland. Today, if we have gathered here as one big, happy, and purposeful family, it is because of their sacrifice. Today, we all must be eternally grateful to them. And the best way we can express our gratitude to those selfless heroes is by inculcating the ideals that inspired them. A former president of the United States, John F. Kennedy, proclaimed, "Ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country." It is only when we dedicate our lives for the contribution and welfare of our nation that we can pay homage to all the men and women who have sacrificed their lives for the sake of our independence. Independence is not just freedom of the nation from foreign powers. True independence is freedom from the shackles of our mind and the senses. As Swami says, independence is nothing but inner dependence on the self. It was Swami Vivekananda who said, "The salvation of India depends on the strength of the individual and realization by each man of the divinity within." In the last 7 decades, India as a nation has tremendously progressed economically, technologically, scientifically, educationally, and socially. But now, it is time for the spiritual awakening of our nation. And this task has been taken up by dearest Swami himself. He is not just teaching us the true meaning of independence, but also guiding us to realize that state. Swami, this Independence Day, we pray to you to bless us so that we become free from all our selfishness and individual egos and remain completely surrendered to your divine will. May we become perfect instruments and serve you throughout in your divine and glorious mission. Jai Hind, Jai Sai Ram.
Now, we invite our chief guest, Dr. Rajmohan Rawji, to address all of us. He has been the driving force behind the growth and diversification of UTL Group's various businesses for over 3 decades. He has inspired and nurtured young entrepreneurs in the rural area by providing invaluable opportunities to budding entrepreneurs, helping them to grow.
Happy Independence Day to all of us, respected Swamiji and teachers, esteemed guests, and my dear students. It's a privilege to stand before you on this momentous day as we celebrate the 78th Independence Day of our beloved nation. I want to thank Sri Sathya Sai Loka Seva Education Institutions for this opportunity to speak to such a promising gathering of young minds. As we celebrate this day, it's important to reflect on the journey of our nation has undertaken since gaining independence in 1947. Our country at the time of independence faced tremendous challenges. We were grappling with food shortages, poverty, inadequate health care, and lack of basic infrastructure. Our roads were underdeveloped, our housing was insufficient, and our telecommunication sector was almost non-existent. The situation is further compounded by rapidly growing population, which has increased from 34 crores in 1947 to around 140 crores now. Despite these overwhelming challenges, India has made remarkable progress. We've overcome the threat of food shortages by launching the Green Revolution, which transformed India from a food-deficient nation to a food surplus one. In the field of healthcare, we developed a world's largest vaccination program, ensuring that our children are protected against deadly diseases. Our infrastructure has been vastly improved with roads, housing, transport system, and modern telecommunication infrastructure, reaching even the most remote areas of our country. One of the most inspiring aspects of India's journey has been our achievements in science and technology. When the world doubted its capabilities, we established institutions like ISRO, which today makes us proud by launching satellites for communication purposes and all other purposes and exploring the space. The setting up of the Baba Atomic Research Center led the foundation of our nuclear program and for production of peaceful nuclear applications like power generation, etc., making us a formidable force in the world. When the United States refused to sell the Cray supercomputers to India during 1980s, 85 or so, I remember. So the Cray computer was making supercomputers. And when India wanted to buy these supercomputers to analyze our, to atmosphere and predict the nature of rains and to aid agriculture and industry, so the American government wanted to come and inspect these facilities, and Government of India rightfully refused to grant such permission. Then they refused to sell these supercomputers to us. So during that time, India decided to build its own supercomputer. Thanks to Sam Petroda and Dr. Bhatkal, they actually started an institution called CDAC. And today, India not only makes very affordable supercomputers, also selling, after meeting India's own requirements, we are selling these to other developing nations. And the result is, you will be happy to know, or I don't say that we are happy to know, that the Cray computers doesn't exist anymore. So if you have a determination, this is what a nation can achieve. So behind these achievements are remarkable individuals who dedicated their lives to the nation. Dr. Vikram Sarabhai, the father of the space program, and Dr. M.S. Swaminathan, who led the Green Revolution, and APJ Abdul Kalam, our missile man and a former president of India. Sam Petroda, who revolutionized telecommunication industry, and many others like Dr. Bhatkar. And in recent years, India has also made significant strides in pharmaceutical sector. We are now one of the largest producers of vaccines and generic medicines in the world. Indian companies like Bharat Biotech and Serum Institute have helped India to overcome the problem during the recent problem of COVID, and we have been exporting vaccines to all over the world. It's a matter of pride that Indian-made vaccines are among the most cost-effective, making healthcare accessible to millions of people worldwide. Under the visionary leadership of the Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, India continues on this path of growth and self-reliance. The government has allocated an unprecedented 1 lakh crores in the budget for research and development work, ensuring India remains at the forefront of innovation and progress. Institutions set up by Swami all over the world and India can actually take advantage of this huge grant that is coming from Government of India and do a lot of research. And as you grow, as you come out of colleges and go to universities and do a PhD program and many other areas, so in agriculture and many other industries, you should invest in technology and make use of this grant that is coming from Government of India. As students, you are part of great institution that is guided by the profound vision of Swamiji and the teachings of Satya Sai Baba. The values of education you receive here will empower you to reach great heights and contribute to the nation's development. Swamiji's vision of selfless service and dedication to the welfare of others is guiding light for all of us, and I am confident that under his guidance, we will achieve extraordinary things. On this Independence Day, let us all pledge to work together for a stronger, more prosperous, and self-reliant India. Remember, the future of our nation lies in your hands. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir, for those inspiring words. Now, we would like to take this opportunity to extend our token of gratitude to our chief guest, Dr. Raj Mohan ji. May we now invite Shri B.N. Narsimurthy sir, Chancellor, Shri Sathya Sai University for Human Excellence, to address all of us.
Offering our loving pranams at the lotus feet of our beloved Divine Masters, Sadguru Sri Madhusudan Sai, who is a perfect synthesis of peerless patriotism and very deep spirituality. Esteemed Chief Guest, Dr. Raja Mohan Rao Garu, guests on the dais, brothers and sisters, very dear students, boys and girls. At the outset, I would like to compliment Dr. Raja Mohan Rao Garu for that highly informative and enlightening talk on the material progress of our country. I also congratulate all our boys and girls, our students, who have put up a very excellent presentation of March past this morning, befitting the occasion. I also congratulate their trainers and teachers who have put in very hard work. compliments to Ava Tamang and also Sai Mukunda, who spoke from the depths of their heart about their aspirations, dreams, and ambitions for the country. As Dr. Raja Mohan Rao Garu said, our country definitely has made unprecedented progress in the material field. We have progressed economically, technologically, scientifically, and as children, when we were in the school, after the Independence Day and the Republic Day, we were being taken to the villages around to render some service to the rural folks. Every village was only full of thatched huts. I still remember as a kid, whereas we in the towns, most of us lived in good houses. When we went to the villages, we saw people living in thatched huts. And in fact, at this point of time, I still remember when I was here in the initial stages of this institution. We had just started 8th class, and one morning we were taking these 8th class boys to the Nandi Hills, Nandi Temple, Boganandishwara Temple. We passed through a village here, Muddenahalli. And suddenly there was a downpour, and all of us rushed into a thatched hut. We saw only one little girl, 8-year-old, and a small baby in the cradle. Parents had gone to work, both father and mother, daily laborers. They had gone to work in somebody's fields, and the thatched hut was leaking. And this girl of 8 years just grabbed the child from the cradle because that is where it was leaking more. And one of the boys was there, was an 8th class student. He started crying and said, "Sir, can we build a house for these people?" See, that is what is a tender heart which is full of compassion, which is touched by the misery and sorrow of others. But somehow, as we grow up, the springs of compassion in our hearts dry up, and we develop indifference to the sufferings of others. And I said, yes, definitely when such a noble prompting from a young student, young boy, we said we will do it, but on one condition, if you stay back here during the summer vacation. And all the boys agreed. Next summer vacation, we went to the village and built a beautiful house which exists even today in Muddenahalli. If you go and ask, the house built by the boys of this Muddenahalli institution, they will show you. Recently, the grandchildren from that family had come to meet me just for the kind of compassion that our boys showed to their family. But today you go to the villages, you can hardly find a thatched hut. In fact, you can go with an examining, scrutinizing eye, even then you don't find a thatched hut. And belonging to a generation born in British India, who saw the first electric lamp lighted, the first radio being put on, the first television coming into the country. In fact, I still remember when we were students in Chikballapur High School, we were taken to, in 3 buses, we were taken to an exhibition in Sadashiv Nagar, Bangalore, to see the television, the first television. We were so thrilled to see the first television. We have seen the change. We have been witnesses to this change. Definitely there has been a very great progress in the material fields in our country. There is no doubt about it. But there was one sentence made by Ava Tamang, our girl student, that the movement for our independence, struggle for independence led by Mahatma Gandhi was not a political movement. She said it was a spiritual movement. See, that makes the difference between India and any other country in the world. It is the most unique moment in the history of the world wherein with weapons of non-violence and love, we achieved freedom. This is unprecedented and it has not happened in any country, And therefore, we need to think, because with all the material progress, are we really happy today? Have we become happier? See, it's a question which we Indians have to ask ourselves. The question remains a question. The question remains a doubt because of the downfall of morality in society. No society can run or sustain itself with basic standards of morality. What has happened to the greatest spiritual ideals that inspired our country? A French writer and philosopher, Romain Rolland, said, if there is a place on the face of the earth which has been the home for the highest thoughts of all living men and women of the world since the earliest time when man began the dream of existence, it is India, he said. Therefore, definitely, if you look at our history, Indian history, we were prosperous. We were materially rich also. Otherwise, why so many foreigners invaded our country to take away our wealth? Our country was very, very prosperous. There is no doubt. But India was always looked up to for its spiritual light, for its spiritual wisdom, the high moral standards that pervaded even the least of the men and women in society. But today, the country is facing problems. If you analyze, the whole world is facing problems. And if you look at the reasons for this, definitely man, in spite of the plenty, is not happier, not only in our country, anywhere in the world, and is plagued by problems which were unknown. The kind of problems, you just look at newspaper every day, the kind of problems that we see, they were not there earlier. And therefore, what is most important today is we find that basic values like honesty, integrity, and principles of morality have disappeared even from Indian society. Forget about other countries which cannot boast of a spiritual heritage like ours. Spirituality is today found only in the books, even in India. There are definitely individuals who live their lives on the high standards set by our Indian spirituality and morality. There are people, individuals, definitely we cannot ignore that. But general lot of people are ready to do anything. I will just give an example. As per the latest census statistics, only 18% of people of Karnataka are below poverty line. But the fact is, 80% of the people of Karnataka have BPL cards, below poverty line cards. They avail of all the things that are given by the government. 80%. 18% is actually the existing number of people below the poverty line, but 80% of the people utilize. Because under the direction from Sadhguru Sri Madhusudan Sai, I traveled all over Karnataka looking for lands for the campuses in each district, and I have visited hundreds of villages. I was surprised to find people with very good houses, well-to-do families, getting old age pension. Is this India? See, that is the question we have to ask. Definitely, the kind of social welfare programs that the central government and the various state governments are undertaking, definitely will have to reach the needy people. But should they be wasted? Should the taxpayer money be wasted on people who are quite well-to-do? And no government, no political party is daring enough to reduce the number of BPL cards in Karnataka for obvious reasons. See, this is what I meant by saying lack of basic honesty and integrity in the lives of people. And this is where character building, inculcation of character, building up of character among the youth of the country, inspiring them with the great ideals which inspired our men and women who sacrificed their life for the sake of the country. See, that becomes most important. Unfortunately, in the name of secularism, no government is giving any importance, there is no focus of the government. The government think it is not our job to instill spiritual values, basic moral values which make a democracy going. It is not our responsibility. See, that is where the importance of institutions like ours, especially led by spiritual masters like Sadhguru Sri Madhusudan Sai, becomes most important. See, though we are celebrating the 78th birthday, Independence Day of our country it's not a small place today. Definitely it was a very small place when we first came here 50 years ago. But on such a small scale is very, very important, because creating youth with character, with moral principles is the primary need. We may produce supercomputers, we may produce the very top class automobile vehicles, but creating character, instilling morality in the lives of common people of the country is very, very important. This is where we need the guidance, we need the inspiration of the spiritual masters who are in India today, who are also putting in similar effort in this direction. But I should tell you, after having lived for 80 years on this planet, having seen thousands of students, hundreds of educational institutions, the kind of sincere approach to inculcate character and shape the students as servants of the country. In fact, Gopal Krishna Gokhale, even before we achieved freedom, had founded an institution, an organization, Servants of India Society. Some of the elders who are here might remember this, but the kind of sincere attempt to make every student a torchbearer of spirituality and selfless service, this is something most wonderful which is happening under the guidance of Sadhguru Sri Madhusudan Sai, with the inspiration of Bhagavan Sri Sathya Sai Baba, who gifted to mankind the most wonderful philosophy of education. Education is not for a living, but for life. The end of education is character. And this is what Baba said, and the mission is being taken forward in the most glorious way by Sadhguru Sri Madhusudan Sai. We are very grateful to Swami for having given us this opportunity, especially students. Each and every boy and girl should stand up. I know that all of you love Swami because he is giving you everything. Everything he is giving. And therefore you love him, you are grateful to him. That gratitude should be transformed into dedication to the mission, dedication to the service of the country, selfless service of people who are underserved or unserved. And then definitely that will be the fulfillment of celebration for Independence Day from the point of view of students. With these words, I conclude and pray to Sadhguru Sri Madhusudan Sai for his benedictory Independence Day address. Thank you very much. Sai Ram, Jai Hind.
If I may modify the thought of Sri Adi Shankaracharya, which was expressed by the little girl who spoke, Durlabham trayame vaitat daiva anugraha hetukam manushyattvam mumukshutvam mahapurusha samshayaha. May I add a little and say Durlabham chaturmevetat Daivanugraha hetukam Manushyattvam Mumukshutvam Bharatiyatvam cha Guru Sannidhihi. Being born as humans is one blessing. Being born with the desire for liberation is the second one. But to fulfill this, you need to be born in a country like India. So being Indian is the third blessing, and then being in the company of the Guru who can guide you towards this path is the fourth blessing. All these come only by the grace of God's. We are all blessed because we have received all the four. And therefore, while we celebrate the 78th year of independence, we may also congratulate ourselves for having received all these blessings, especially to be born in a country like India, Bharatiya. Bharata, as Bhagavan defines, is Bhagavantudulo Ratinche Valu. Those who revel in the glory of God, in devotion to God, they alone are true Bharatiyas, not by your birth certificates, Aadhaar cards, or any other identity proofs. It's only when you are interested in spirituality, in divinity, that you can be seen or known or identify yourselves as true Bharatiyas. Bha also means effulgence, brightness, wisdom, light. And so those who are pursuant of this wisdom, spiritual wisdom, the light of spirituality, they also are Bharatiyas, is what Bhagavan would say. He would say, Deshamante matti kaadu, Deshamante manushuloyi. Country is not the land or the landscape. It is the people who make the country. And therefore, if we want to build a country, build a nation, we must build the individuals. Today, as I stand here and I was thinking about the place there where we stand, it's so beautiful. In the lap of Mother Nature, in the lap of Mother India, I remember three such great Bharatiyas who are closely associated with this land where we sit now. The first and foremost is Sir M. Vishweshwaraya. Just across the road, he was born. And Muddenahalli became famous because of his tremendous contribution towards building this nation. Born in a rural family, below poverty line, you may say, and going all the way to become a Bharat Ratna by contributing tremendously through science and technology and various of his initiatives that has brought so much of public good to the country, the benefits of which we still reap as Indians. I remember him for his great dedication and sacrifice to stay in India, stay put in India and work for India. The other one that I think of is Madhyal Narayan Bhatt, who was the founder of this institution 50 odd years ago. He was also, though not born in a poor family, but was born with this idealistic thought of building the country by building its villages, building individuals. And he set up on a mission to build an institution like this, Sri Sathya Sai Lokaseva institutions, not mindful of all the hardships that he had to undertake. And at the right time, he met the third most inspiring patriotic leader of the country, Bhagavan Sri Sathya Sai Baba, under whose guidance he continued to serve the nation by continuing to build the institutions. Bhagavan Sri Sathya Sai Baba, though he may be seen like a spiritual leader, but truly he is a true Bharatiya, true patriotic personality of this country who worked for the welfare of the downtrodden, the marginalized, the forgotten and the forsaken. We do remember the people who have fought for the freedom of this country, all the great freedom fighters who sacrificed their everything, their today for our tomorrow, as they say. But what they have left as a legacy with us is now to be looked after by us. And our role is to build this nation further and bring the glory back to the country of being called a Vishwaguru in every aspect, in every sphere of life. Narayan Bhatt, Sri M. Vishweshwaraya, Bhagavan Baba, they all have worked towards making that country better which was given to them through the sacrifice of, say, various freedom fighters. Today we don't have to die for our country. That is no more the necessity, and hopefully it will never be a necessity. But we now must live for our country. We must live in the footsteps, walk in the footsteps of these great patriots who have given everything for the sake of betterment of this nation and the people. Max Muller said, if India lives, who dies? And if India dies, who lives? India is the soul of the world. And if the soul dies, the body dies. This soul of the world, India, that stands for its spirituality and these ideals of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, one world, one family, is alone the refuge for the entire world. I will fail in my duty if I do not acknowledge the contributions of Dr. Rajamohan Rao and group. We might not have seen Vishweshwaraya, or some of you might not even have seen Narayan Bhatt or Bhagwan Baba, but in him I see a patriot who worked for the welfare of the nation. And how, I must tell you, he was very humble and self-effacing to not mention the contributions of United Telecoms Limited. Way back in 70s, when there was nothing here in India, these people worked together to build the telecommunication technology for our country. Imagine a country without telephones, without telecommunication network and technology. We would have been still living in the past and only a stone's throw from Stone Age. But people like him, who were well educated, who knew that they had a big demand in the world outside, and a country, a developed country, as he mentioned, like USA, could pick them up for just like that, by giving them a big package or luring them with big incentives, or even an opportunity to do better research. But these are the people like Sir M. Vishweshwaraya who stayed back and said, we will build our country through our own strength, through our own efforts. And that is how United Telecoms Limited came into existence. And even today it serves the country by giving the necessary technology of telecommunications and various other ways. And we are very grateful, because I wanted him to see what India has become today. These kids, these children are growing in a much better country, which is better connected to telecommunications, internet technology, transportation, and name it. Now artificial intelligence and so on. All this has been gifted to you because of the sacrifices of people like Dr. Raj Mohan and many more. So I truly appreciate your coming here and sharing the dais and explaining to children what all efforts have been put in by people like you to give them the present, the today that they are enjoying. We must never forget this value of gratitude. What I see more and more, and which concerns me and which I thought I must share, is the sense of ingratitude and entitlement that is growing in the next generation, the new generation, because they haven't seen the sacrifices that were made to give them what they have today. They are unable to totally appreciate what they have got and value them. They are unable to build a sense of gratitude and a sense of responsibility for what all they have received because of the sacrifices of those who have given everything for your today. I insist and I expect that our students will build this sense of gratitude in themselves. Gratitude is the fundamental value that builds character. Without gratitude, there cannot be character. And therefore, when you receive something from the sacrifices of so many, be it the freedom fighters of the past, all the way back to 1857 or even before, till this date, when so many of our scientists, our industrialists, our educationists, our leaders, even farmers and laborers are doing so much, because of which you are able to enjoy this education, because of which you are able to enjoy a free life in a free country with all the liberty and fairness and justice at your fingertips. All this is possible because of so many people who are remaining nameless and faceless. Yet, in our hearts, we must carry gratitude for all of them. We must carry gratitude for our spiritual leaders who sacrificed themselves and did not bow down or did not budge from their path when threatened with death and torture. They stood their ground and continued to preach and teach the spirituality that India is known for. This is the reason why even today we are able to read our scriptures, we are able to learn the truths of spirituality and such highest wisdom. It's because of their sacrifice. Many of them took the path of sannyasa, to the path of tyaga, and even gave up their lives in the wake of foreign invasions and in attacks by the plunderers, just to protect our country, just to protect our culture, our spirituality. It is their legacy that we have inherited, and our responsibility to take it forward is immense. We cannot shy away from shouldering this, whatever, call it a burden or call it responsibility of being Bharatiyas. When we were children, Doordarshan would play patriotic songs. And one song that I remember from those times was from a film Jagriti, and it had a stanza which said, "हम लाए हैं तूफान से किश्ती निकाल के, इस देश को रखना मेरे बच्चों संभाल के." We have brought this boat out of the storm of whatever happened pre-independence days. Now it's your duty to look after it. because you are the future of this country, and you have a responsibility that you cannot turn away from. All freedom is responsibility only. Liberty is responsibility. And if you want to enjoy a life of liberty and freedom, you must do it responsibly. This is the message to the next generation that I think must understand where they stand and what they have inherited, at what cost, at what price. And they must value this opportunity of freedom, value this opportunity of being able to educate themselves, to learn, to grow in a free country, with choices that are available to you, with opportunities that are available to you. Politically, we might have become free from another foreign rule, but socially, our freedom comes from our ability to make choices, to avail opportunities to grow and prosper. And that is what is being given to you. That is true freedom socially. And spiritually, as you yourself have mentioned, that the ability to govern oneself based on one's inner self, that is true independence. Being able to be guided by the intuition that is the seat of God within, and doing the right thing always, that is true freedom. That is swatantrata. Tantra means governance and swa means self. Self-governance, which is control over yourself, your mind, your senses, your ideas, your individuality, your selfishness and greed. That is true freedom. And once we enjoy all these freedoms, be it political, be it social, or be it spiritual, only then we will be true free countries. Otherwise, we might be politically free, but we are not socially free. We are not having spiritual freedom at all. So we are still slaves to our senses and the mind and all these other social injustice. This is the reason why we work hard every day for the sake of bringing these aspects of freedom also to our people. And I look forward to you people joining us someday on this side of the line to provide this freedom, this opportunity to many more children, many more people in the country. Not only our country, as we say, we are a global family. To the people of the world, to people of all countries, wherever there is a need, India should rise to the occasion. Children like you should rise to the occasion and do what is needed. I keep traveling around the world and I see poverty, injustice, or lack of equal opportunities, gender inequality, and lack of access to basic necessities still exist. Even in developed countries, there are problems like homelessness, drug abuse, and now mental health issues. These are growing by the day. So material progress is necessary, but alongside it has to be tempered with spiritual understanding and spiritual goals, like Narsimurti has said. Science and spirituality must work together, hand in hand. A synthesis of these two alone can lead the world to a better future. Just spirituality without the modern science and the comforts and the conveniences that come with it is not going to help people. And just the science of it, which gives us better lives, better, more comfortable, convenient, and prosperous lives without the element of spirituality that also teaches us to be selfless, is going to be detrimental to human societies. The combination of the two is what this institution is trying to achieve, by providing you with both the para and the apara vidya, as I say, or jivanopadi vidya and jivita paramavadi vidya, where you understand how you can progress in the material world, contribute through your skills, your abilities, your knowledge. At the same time, you are also guided by your spiritual insight, which teaches you to do it all for a selfless reason. As I was mentioning, Dr. Rajmohan Rao could have been anybody, could have been on the Forbes list of the richest, but he chose the path of spirituality, which guided his path of science. And that is why he's still in India doing what needs to be done for the people of India. I want you to take inspiration from such people and many more who are sitting on these dais to dedicate your energies. Then only Janani Janma Bhumischa Swargadapi Gariyasi will happen. I've seen IITians, I've seen big, well-educated people abroad. All these are NRIs and Indians. They're well settled. But I asked them the same question. How have you contributed to this country? How have you given back to the country that gave you birth, that gave you education, that gave you this understanding of human life? And this is the need of the hour. I not only insist that the NRIs and those who have been well educated, those who are now in a better position in life, they should give back to the country, but I also insist that this generation should learn from the whole world, but serve our country to begin with, and through that serve the whole world eventually. This is the need of the hour. brain drain, this migration of youngsters to other countries for greener pastures. This is not the way to do things. You can always learn. Even M. Vishweshwaraya, Sir M. Vishweshwaraya went, learned, and came back and used that knowledge to better the lives of our people. And if in those days of pre-independence times, when India did not even have the basic infrastructure like roads as it was being mentioned, those are the times when these great luminaries, Vallabhbhai Patel, Swami Vivekananda, Sarojini Naidu, even Mahatma Gandhi for that matter, and Subhash Chandra Bose, M. Vishweshwaraya, these are the Pandit Nehru, these are the people who went, studied, understood how the world works and came back and applied all that knowledge and abilities to improve the lives of their countrymen. If they could do that in those times when there was nothing in India, absolute poverty, famine, and name it, all kinds of social evils, in those times they came back and gave their lives for the betterment of this country, because of which we are enjoying what we are enjoying today, then how much more this generation must offer to this country, which has already received so much more than those people of those times. So it is your responsibility, and I will never shy away from reminding you again and again about what you have got to do in the future and why you have got to do that. You have a responsibility, you have the accountability for all that you have received and are receiving and are going to receive in the future because of the sacrifice and efforts of so many people. When I was traveling to Mumbai, I was asked, how much should people give in their lives? Because you keep telling about danas, you keep telling about tyaga, these are the sacrifices. And I told, in old times, people used to do like this. A quarter of their income they used to spend on themselves for their maintenance, for the expenses. A quarter of the income they used to use for their future savings, for the rainy day. A quarter of their income they used to pay as their taxes to the government for the social good of all. And a quarter of it used to go to God, to the temples. That's why Indian temples were so rich. And these temples were the nerve centers of Indian society. There were gurukulas which were run free of cost by these temples without any discrimination. This story of casteism is all new and fake narrative. But much before that, everybody had an opportunity to learn basic education, post which they would take to their family professions as per their guna dharmas. The temples were also running Vaidyashalas. There were Vaidyas who were associated with temples. There were midwives who would help people in the village with their health issues. And none of them were charging anything because they were being looked after by the temples, because temples were so richly endowed. Temples also had agraharas. They had annakshetras, where anybody and everybody, whoever needed any help, be it a pilgrim to a sacred place, on his way to the sacred place, or be a pauper, anybody could come and avail this facility of having free food, free prasadam. And that also was given by the temples, because temples were so rich. Because the kings to the common men, everybody thought temples had to be protected, they had to be preserved, and that temple ecosystem has to be vibrant in order to keep the society together, in order to teach the next generation and keep the present generation healthy. That culture was destroyed because of the whatever invasions and their lack of understanding of Indian cultural societies and spirituality. But we have to bring back that culture. Today we may not have a temple per se in terms of a God's temple, but these schools are temples, these healthcare centers are temples. All our Annapurna program is nothing but the same work that temples were doing in the past. And it's our collective responsibility to support all these initiatives as a society in India and abroad as well. And this is happening, but when they asked me, I told them about this, but I did not see much of happiness in their faces. A quarter sounded like too much. And then I reminded them that in Islam, there is this concept called zakat, where they give 2.5% of their earnings for the betterment of the people, the weaker sections. In Sikhism, there is daswant, they give 10% of whatever they do for the sake of betterment of the society. So also in Christianity, there is tithing, or in Judaism, there is a charity which is integral part of their religious giving. In Hinduism also we talk about dana, or Jainism or Buddhism. Charity is a part of our culture. We always give so that we can all live. And that concept, I must ensure that it also is implemented in our institutions. Couple of years ago, we made all the education free, including your accommodation, food, whatsoever. Only one condition, that your parents should come and participate in seva activities over here. And that has done a lot good, because the parents have started to understand what we are doing over here. They have become now a part of this institution. As I said, it stands on the tripod of parents, teachers, and students, which is happening now. Last year, we made a small initiative when I saw so much of dirt around Muddenahalli in villages where the municipality would not pick up the garbage on time, and that would lead to a lot more diseases. And such diseases and the patients with such diseases which were infectious were coming to our hospital. We initiated Swachh Chikbalapur as an initiative, and with that we started picking garbage, and I asked them what is the status after a year, and they said after we deployed that machine, which is an automated machine that picks up this garbage through suction, close to 3.5 lakh kgs of garbage has been collected from all these villages, and these village people are happy that the spread of diseases because of breeding of mosquitoes and other insects has reduced. You know, we are all now struggling with dengue, which is spreading. So in these times, such social initiatives have helped. And one initiative that I wanted to launch from this platform today on the Independence Day is this idea of giving, this idea of sharing. Let us begin with ourselves. From 1% of our income to 10%, whatever is the comfort, based on your income, based on your salaries, to all the staff of our institutions and the devotees and everybody around the world, may I give this call that let us make giving a habit, a part of our life, not once in a while when we feel like doing it and other times when we do not want to do it. Let us make it a part of our lives. Let us give whatever we can, whatever as Tena Tyaktena Bunjita is the Upanishadic call. Give and then consume. Sacrifice and then enjoy. This is the call of the Upanishads. But in our own way, let us make it a habit. I expect our trust and our Department of Human Resources to work out a plan so that everybody has an opportunity to share a little bit of what they do. Because when I go around the world and I tell people to give, they shouldn't ask a question back to me saying, how have you implemented this in your organization? I tell them they have given their tana mana because they work for the institution. Their minds are invested in the welfare of all. But let me also be able to answer them correctly by saying, based on their capacities, based on the Indian dictum of Tyaga or Dana, we also participate in somehow contributing back to the society. How it will be done, what can be done, I think the details will be worked out, but I expect everybody to contribute, starting with just 1% of what you have earned to all the way whatever you can, so that there is this culture structured, and giving should become a natural habit for all of us. And when we do that, I will be able to talk boldly to people around the world that everybody should take care of another person. That's all I ask. I do not ask one person to look after the welfare of all. I only ask that everybody should be mindful of the welfare of another person who is unable to look after himself or herself. If each of the world citizen looks after another world citizen, the world will definitely be a better place. And no other country can teach this other than India, which has stood for these values of sacrifice and service from time immemorial. So while for the next whatever number of years, as we next 24 or 2 odd years, we are going to continue this journey towards 100th year of independence and become a developed nation. That was the call the Prime Minister gave this morning as well, the call towards Vikasit Bharat, developed nation. But for us, developed nation will just not be the development in the field of science and technology and social justice, but for me, development is also spiritual. Let every Indian become a true Bharatiya by enjoying and reveling in this idea of godhood, by realizing their true potential, which is their divinity, as was told by a boy, what Swami Vivekananda told. India's true potential lies in her spirituality. And when she wakes up to that potential, she can change the world for better forever. Such an India is what we are here to create, and each and everyone's contribution is a necessity. Nobody can shy away thinking that this will be done by somebody else. That's what the Prime Minister was saying. Before coming, I was listening to the Independence Day speech, and he said, this idea that somebody will do it and I don't have to bother should go away from our minds. We should own it up. We should take responsibility of betterment of our own people, our own country. That is when India will change. And when India changes, the world will change. And that is how we create a better world for everybody. That is how this idea of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam will become a reality, with the likes of people on the dais like Rajmohan Garu and so many more, and all of you there on the ground, and many more who are watching us now from various countries and various campuses. To all of them, I must say, India is you. You are India. If you become better, India will become better. It all starts with you and me. So let's work every day hard to become better versions of ourselves, to contribute positively to the welfare of each other, and ultimately build a country that lives in this perfect synthesis and balance of science and spirituality, and then teaches this method to the rest of the world so that the whole world becomes a better place. And this is the vision that I work for, and I think in this lifetime itself this is achievable if we all put our hearts and souls together. May you all enjoy this independence with a sense of responsibility, with a sense of ownership, with a sense of duty, with a sense of sacrifice. With these words of blessings, and again conveying our gratitude to Rajmohan Garu for coming here, and to everybody else, all the guests who are here, may I conclude and wish you a very happy 78th year of independence and many more such years to come.
जय जगदीश हरे स्वामी सत्य साई हरे भक्त जना संरक्षक भक्त जना संरक्षक पति महेश्वरा ओम जय जगदीश हरे शशिवदना श्रीकरा सर्वा प्राणपते स्वामी सर्वा प्राणपते आश्रित कल्पलतिका आपद्बान्धवा ओम जय जगदीश हरे मात पिता गुरुदैवमु मरियन्तयु नीवे स्वामी मरियन्तयु नीवे नाद ब्रह्म जगन्नाथा नाद ब्रह्म जगन्नाथा नागेन्द्राशयन ओम जय जगदीश हरे ओंकार रूप ओजस्वी वो साई महादेवा सद्गुरु साई महादेवा मंगल हारति अंदुको मंगल हारति अंदुको मंदर गिरिधारी ओम जय जगदीश हरे नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण 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 ओम नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम जय सद्गुरुदेवा नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण 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 ओम नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम जय सद्गुरुदेवा नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण 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 ओम नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम जय सद्गुरुदेवा ओम शांति 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 समस्त लोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्त लोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्त लोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु ओम शांति 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 जय बोलो भगवान श्री सत्य साई बाबा जी की जय बोलो सद्गुरु श्री मधुसूदन साई जी की जय।